What is going on, you guys? Riley on Gemmy Inflatable Fans 98, and I got a really special review for you guys today. This is the Gemmy 2003 7-foot tall pumpkin in 2 ghosts. And what I mean by special is this is the first inflatable I have ever owned. I got this, I think my parents got it at Costco. It was so long ago, I don't remember exactly where it was, but I'm pretty sure it was at Costco. I'm sure most of you guys know what that store is. It's just like it's like a BJ's, just a little bit different. Well, not really different, but yeah, it's just like BJ's. But man, let me tell you, I was the happiest kid in the world when I got this because I mean, I've always had always loved inflatable things. I used to have all kinds of inflatable pool toys and things like that. I used to love as a kid, and then like bounce houses especially. I mentioned that if you saw that video I made a couple years ago on how I got into the inflatable decorations, you'll know that. So as soon as they started coming out with the inflatable decorations, that's all I wanted. I wanted them so bad, and I remember, my parents knew how much I liked them too, so they ended up picking this up for me one day. And I did make a video on that Santa Claus over the winter. That was one of my first inflatables, but it was my first ever Christmas inflatable. This is the first inflatable I've ever known, just to kind of make that clear. Yeah, I unfortunately wasn't able to use it in my display this year, or the year before. I think the last time I used it was 2015, in my 2015 display, I'm pretty sure. So this guy hasn't been used in a while, and I'm definitely going to be using him Halloween night at least, but obviously not really outside this year. I'm probably going to try to incorporate him next year in my display, but this thing has been through a lot. The funny story about it is the first night we got it, in my very, very first house. We haven't lived, I think, yeah, like 2003, whatever. I think we moved out of that house in like 2004, I think. But anyway, we were living in that house, and I put it outside. I was super excited to set this thing up, obviously. And my dad put it outside for me. And I'm not sure if he staked it down or anything, because I remember, like I said, I was so excited to get it. I kept going outside to look at it and everything. And I remember I went outside one time to look at it, and it was just gone from the yard. It wasn't there. And come to find out, my dad walked like a half mile down the street, and I'm not even kidding about this. No exaggeration. It was a half mile down the street because the wind took it so far. And it's still here to this day, and it still works, which is surprising. I mean, that fan definitely probably took a beating, slamming down on the road like that. I mean, man. But yeah, guys, anyway, not enough of me talking. I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to take it out of the box, and we'll inflate this. I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, so I'm back here. Not sure how good this is going to work. Excuse me, because one of the fan tethers, whatever you call them, that go across the fan to hold it in place, is broken, so it might not hold up too well. We'll see when it inflates. But this thing, on the box, it says, it says new fading lights on it, and yeah, there it goes. If I remember correctly, I don't remember this ever having fading lights. It might have. I mean, it's the light string completely broke on this thing. Like, even replacing the bulbs doesn't help it. Help it light up. Replacing. I think just the whole light string is dead in it. So, I was never. It's been forever since this thing had lights. So it may have had fading lights. I just don't remember them ever having fading lights. But as you can tell, it's harder to tell in the video, but in person, I mean, this thing's like really sun faded, because it's been out for, since 2003. Like I said, I hadn't used it in a couple of years, but, I'm letting it fully inflate here, finish up. Of course, it might not stand up too well because of that, because the base isn't set up correctly. But I mean, yeah, this thing still inflates pretty decent. It's not worn out or anything. Sorry, I'm trying to get this position correctly to show you guys. I'm gonna pause the video. Hang on. All right, this is probably the best I can do for this. I haven't put it out, so unless I'm putting it out, I wouldn't fix it. I mean, I should have brought like a zip tie down or something to try to fix that part. But nonetheless, here it is, guys. Obviously, it doesn't look that great because the fan is on the ground like that. But this thing is still in, you know, decent shape. It's not very dirty. You know, it still inflates tightly. You know, I mentioned before, in the past, and I'll mention it again. I live in a colder climate area, and I store stuff in like a decently cool basement and stuff like that, so things just don't wear out that quick. So I'm fortunate enough for that. And like I said, this thing, I'm the original owner of this. I've had this since 2003. Again, really the only thing that happens up here is sun fading on the inflatables. I mean, you saw that in my the Santa video I made. I mean, that thing is sun faded to, you know, to no end. I mean, my God, that thing is really bad. And this thing's pretty bad too. I mean, you can tell in that area it's a little bit lighter than the other side there. But yeah, like I said, the lights don't work in it. It's just they just don't work. And I wonder if maybe the reason the light string died so quick was because it said it had the fading lights. I don't know. But again, like I said, I do not remember this thing ever having fading lights. Do not remember that. But I have seen versions where they do have fading lights, and I've seen them, you know, in action, and they look very, very cool. I mean, it's really just like the Boo Ghost scene, if you know which one that is. I've done a review on it with the colored lights fading on and off, just like that, just, you know, with white lights instead of colored lights. This definitely didn't have any colored lights. I do have a 3 Ghost version of this too. I bought it off of like a local Facebook Market ad as a backup, you know, in case this thing ever died. And actually the funny thing with that is that thing's completely worn out. I mean, that thing doesn't even work, and this one's still going strong. Actually, another thing is the damn tether loop clip thing, or the tether clip, whatever you call it, is broken off of that side. I'm not sure about, no, it's still on that side. I don't remember, you know, like I said, I haven't used this thing in 2 years, so I don't even remember half of what's wrong with it. And you know, the base legs are very loose on this thing as well. It just, you know, it's definitely, you know, definitely, like I said, inflates great, but it's definitely getting to a point where I'm going to have to retire it eventually. I mean, obviously, like I said, I didn't use it this year, a couple years before, but I'm definitely going to plan on using this Halloween night again. Yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what your first inflatable was, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Riley on Gemmy Inflatable Fans 98. Like and subscribe.